So there have been reports that Afrika Bambaataa, who is a respected hip hop legend, has been accused by, I think at least three people have accused him of sexual abuse, and three males have accused him of sexual abuse. At least one of them was interviewed by the I think it was the New York Daily News, and he described being sexually assaulted by Afrika Bambaataa and a couple of associates of Afrika Bambaataa, or members of his crew, during when this guy was, I think he said he was 15. Afrika Bambaataa would have been in his early 20s at that time. So, and they're saying, and then there's another rumor that Afrika Bambaataa got stabbed. They're saying he drugged a boy, or adolescent, or a young man, and the young man regained consciousness while he was being sexually assaulted by Afrika Bambaataa, and then the young man proceeded to stab Afrika Bambaataa, and then so Afrika Bambaataa was stabbed, and that was back in 2013. So that was the allegation. So basically they're saying that Afrika Bambaataa should probably be renamed Afrika Bambooty, or maybe Afrika Bamboybatty, something of that nature. But so Afrika Bambaataa, he was somebody who was around the hip hop scene in New York City from the 1970s, when hip hop was just starting, and he released a song in 1986 called Planet Rock. He had an album, I guess him and his group had an album in around 1986, and since then he's been around the hip hop music. He's been very respected. A lot of prominent hip hop artists have spoken highly of him, and he's just been around the music, or around the kind of hip hop thing. Him and his group, he's the leader of the Universal Zulu Nation, which is a hip hop kind of collective. So the whole thing with these allegations, I don't know if they're true or not, but you have had at least one guy has come forward and given an interview. So I don't know, could be true. They definitely may be. These allegations may be true, but first of all, the thing about this Afrika Bambaataa guy is he's a lot of people say he's a hip hop legend and so on, but first of all, he hasn't really he made music. He had a song in the 1980s, mid 1980s. Since then, he hasn't really been producing music, as far as I know. But he's always been hanging around this. He's been all around this hip hop thing, hip hop music, but he hasn't been actually making music himself. So, first of all, I think people need to be suspicious of these people who hang around and don't really people who are always hanging around, but they're not really doing anything. So Afrika Bambaataa, the thing is the question is, to me, what was he do? Why was Afrika Bambaataa always around that music all the time? He was always around the hip hop scene, but he wasn't really doing anything. He wasn't making music. What was he doing? And the Universal Zulu Nation, what is I'm not sure what those people did either. So that may have just been a way for him to get access to young men. And there's been the allegations were that Afrika Bambaataa because he was involved in hip hop music, he was kind of a local celebrity. He had all these young men wanted to be around him. So it's like that may, again, I don't know if these allegations are true or not, but if they are true, if he's kind of preying on, let's say, adolescent males or young males sexually, if he's kind of like a homosexual predator of young male, of adolescent and young men, then he may just have used this association with the hip hop music in order to gain access to all these, in order to have men wanting to be, or young men wanting to be around him, and then he could have sex with them, basically. So, so I think people need to be suspicious of people who always want to hang around, but don't really do anything. Like, I mean, this guy he was always around hip hop music, but he wasn't. He made a record in the mid 1980s, and when you listen to a song like Planet Rock, it's more of an electronic type of song. It's not even really kind of like it doesn't have that much of it doesn't even have that much of a hip hop sound. It has more of an electronic music type of sound. Whereas if you look at some of the early hip hop like Grandmaster Flash and Rapper's Delight from I think late 1970s or early 1980s, those songs they were just rapping over a beat. Whereas Planet Rock with Afrika Bambaataa, that was more of an electronic type of song. It wasn't even the quote unquote pure hip hop sound that he had. And then he wasn't even making music, but he was still all around the hip hop scene, maybe looking for young men to prey on. I don't know. Depending on whether or not the allegations are true. And the other thing is, if this guy had been, I'm suspicious about them choosing to release this information now, because let's say this guy was really a homosexual predator. You can bet that everybody, or let's say not everybody, but you can bet that there's certain people around him knew about it. People in that circle. I'm sure that there were rumors, and there were people would have probably known about it, because if a man, it's very hard for people, if people aren't engaged in sexual behavior with other people will know about it, because he had sex with some young man. He allegedly, I don't know if it's true or not, he allegedly had sex with young men. So those young men obviously know that he was having sex with them. If he did it, if the allegations are true, I don't know if they're true or not. But so he knew about it, or those young men would have known about it if it was true. So this probably would have been known, and I wouldn't be surprised if the authorities knew about it as well. If they knew, I think it would have been known by a lot of people. I think the authorities, the government, or the law enforcement would have most likely known about it. I think people in the neighborhood would have known about it. So if this was true, I wonder why they're bringing it up now. Why they decided to bring it up now when they did not bring it up before. They left it alone for so long. So that seems kind of suspicious to me. I think there's some type of agenda behind it for them to bring it up now. These sexual improprieties that Afrika Bambaataa was alleged to have committed. So there's some kind of agenda going on. And the other thing is, in the modern age, so first of all, I'm not surprised that you would have a hip-hop artist who, or I don't know, whatever this guy, someone who's around the hip-hop industry, being involved in homosexuality. There's already the allegations about I think Notorious B.I.G.'s producer, one of his producers, Mr. C. He was caught with transsexual trannies or whatever, having sex with trannies on multiple occasions. So Mr. C, he's another one, I guess. So maybe Mr. C's not as bad, because sounded like Mr. C's sexual encounters with trannies were consensual, whereas Afrika Bambaataa may have been more of a slipping drugs to young males and then sexually assaulting them, which is why he allegedly got stabbed. But anyway, but so I'm not surprised that there would be gay people in hip-hop music, because I think there's homosexuals, undercover homosexuals everywhere. They could be in the police department, they could be in the they could be construction workers, they could be mechanics, they could be teachers, they could be doctors, they could be lawyers, they could be politicians, preachers. You've had a lot of politicians being exposed as well for engaging in homosexuality. You've had Democrats, you've had Governor Jim McGreevey from New Jersey, you've had I can't remember, some Republican guy, congressman or something, who was caught in a washroom trying to solicit sex from another man. You've had Ted Hagar, the preacher, televangelist, being caught. You've had Catholic priests being caught with that homosexual stuff. So I think there's going to be homosexuals in every profession. Just like even that thing on Sopranos, where there was that gay mobster guy. So you have homo thugs, you have gay mobsters, gay gangsters, every gay soldiers. Like every profession, every area of life, there's going to be somebody engaging in some type of homosexual activity, or these homosexual predators. You even had certain top-ranking officials in the United States before, when homosexuality was still illegal in the 1950s and stuff. They had top-ranking, top-level officials who were allegedly homosexual. So they have gay people everywhere. I'm not surprised that you would find some gay people in hip-hop music as well. But the thing is, nowadays I think it's harder for people to hide their behavior or their preferences, because of you have all this internet stuff and electronic devices and surveillance. So now if you have some gay person, they're on the internet looking up, they're going to be on the internet looking up gay porn, right? Because that's what most likely you'll most likely find a gay person doing. Like it's very easy for all this government surveillance to uncover any type of homosexual, because if homosexuality was illegal, if you were like one of those countries in Africa or the Middle East where homosexuality is illegal, if they wanted to go out and track down the gay people, they could do it easily, because of all the surveillance on internet. So all they have to do is just track which person is posting gay stuff on Facebook, which person is looking at gay porn on the internet, which person is going on those gay dating sites and posting gay dating information. So I think people like or alleged homosexuals nowadays, I think, are more likely to be exposed compared with in the past, because now there's too much technology that can expose them.